Good evening. On the World News tonight, first the headlines. Tinubu decorates new service chiefs with high ranks at presidential villa. Tinubu finally moves to Aso Rock. Nigeria's debt service ratio rose to 100% in 2022, DMO. Ministerial leave Senate begins confirmation hearing of Wike orders. On foreign, Pakistan suicide bombing death toll rises to 45. On sport, Super Falcons qualify for the round of 16. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. The news shortly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has performed the official decoration of the newly appointed service chiefs. This pivotal event formally marks the beginning of the tenure as the nation's topmost defense officers. The ceremony, which held inside the council chambers of the presidential villa, was witnessed by the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, top government officials, and the family of members of the officers. The service chiefs, whose appointment were initially declared on the 19th of June, have undergone a comprehensive screening by the National Assembly. Having successfully completed this legislative scrutiny, they now take up their roles as chief architect of Nigeria's defense and security strategies. President Tinubu, in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief, presented the new service chiefs with their higher office insignia, signifying the weight of the responsibility they now bear. Each chief, resplendent in their uniforms adorned with their high office symbols, pledged their dedication to ensuring peace, unity, and security of the Nigerian states. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu finally moved to Aso Rock on Sunday night, 2 months after his inauguration, information reports. But he moved to Glass House, usually a transit accommodation, pending the completion of the renovation of the presidential official residence. He had been operating from a private residence in Aso Rock, since his inauguration, but the security measures led to public complaints of heavy traffic as a result of road closures and restrictions. He finally moved on Sunday night because of public complaints over the traffic congestion around his movements, a presidency official said. He too was unhappy with the discomfort to the public, but the official's residence is still not ready, so he decided to move to the Glass House. Information understands that the residence will be ready in August. In 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari moved to the residence 3 weeks after his inauguration. The Debt Management Office DMO said Nigeria's debt service to revenue ratio in 2022 reached 100%. DMO's Director General Patience Onia disclosed these recently at a technical roundtable on an economic blueprint for President Tinubu's administration organized by Action Aid Nigeria. According to her, the push for policies and actions that will galvanize revenue generation and generally stimulate economic growth must be emphasized. She said, as many of you know, the debt stock has grown, but it is essential to understand the reasons behind this growth. Subsidies are budget expenditure items, thus, they invariably contribute to budget's deficits. On the other hand, the Naira exchange rates used for budget are the official rate, which we all know are much lower than the open market rate, the effect of which is lower revenue. In late June, DMO said the country's total debt stock stood at 49.85 trillion naira, excluding the 22.719 trillion naira scrutinized ways and means loans from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Senate on Monday commenced the confirmation hearing of President Bola Tinubu's ministerial nominees. This followed a motion moved by the Senate leader, Senator David Umahi. Last week, Tinubu transmitted a 28-man list of ministerial nominees to the Senate for screening. The minister-designated list was sent to the Senate through Tinubu's Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajàbíàmílà. The list has drawn much controversies from various sections of the country. However, the exercise to confirm or reject the nominees is now underway at the Senate.
This thing can be achieved if you are committed, if you have passion for the job. There are so many people who want to be minister, who want to be governor, for the sake that I was a governor, for the sake that I was a minister. But there are those who say, look, what do I want to offer? Am I committed to this job? And I told Mr. President, for nominating me. I believe, knowing how hungry Mr. President is to solving the problems of Nigeria, we have no choice but to give him that required support. And I can assure you, if I'm confirmed, in whatever capacity, Mr. President will not regret nominating me. Thank you, and God bless you.
The Oyo state workers on Monday locked the state secretariat in Ibadan to demand palliatives, upward review of pension allowances and payment of salary deduction. Participating in the protest are workers and pensioners under the banners of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), Trade Union Congress (TUC), Nigeria Union of Pensioners (NUP), Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees (NOGE), and their affiliates. Led by their union leaders, the workers are also demanding payment of leave bonuses, payment of gratuities to retirees who have stagnated since the year 2021, and release of promotion letters for the years 2021 and 2022. No government officials is yet to address the protesting workers at the time of filing this report. Civil servants who hope to resume work on Monday morning met locked gates, with the union leaders insisting that they only want Governor Seyi Makinde and no government officials to address their demands. Speaking on the demands, Chairman of your TUC, Mr. Bosun Olabiyi, said it was baffling that over 6 months, deductions were still being withheld by the state government. He added that the protest was also to demand an upward review of pensions, noting that some pensioners received 300 naira per month, with the last review done in the year 2007. This issue of deduction has been on for almost a year. At the January prayer meeting, he promised to pay 2 months, and that 2 months was not even paid up till and until the end of the month, when there was so many agitation. Since then, it has been accumulating. On his path, the Oyo NLC chairman, Mr. Kayode Martins, said the workers yearn to hear from the governor himself on their issues, saying the labor centers have had enough of speaking with the governor's emissaries who may be misrepresenting the governor. Mr. Martins, there has been a lot of communication gap between us and our governor. We insist we want to see him. Many a time our demands have been misrepresented. We are being misquoted to the governor, so we want to see him clear the air so that the harmonious relationship between the workers and the government will persist in the states. The Special Military Task Force Operation Safe Haven, OPSH, maintaining peace in Plateau and Everett, said it recovered 130 illegal weapons in the state and other areas of its joint operation. Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, the commander of the OPSH, disclosed this when he handed over the recovered weapons to the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons on Monday in Jos. Abubakar, who reiterated the command's towards stemming the tide of insecurity in the Plateau, said both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches were used in the recovery of the weapons. Our troops have remained resolute in checkmating all forms of crime and violence. Troops have equally maintained an offensive posture, conducting several kinetic operations, leading to a huge recovery of illegal weapons. On the whole, the operational success recorded by troops of the OPSH led to the recovery of 130 small arms and light weapons from criminal elements. Out of the number, we have 29 guns, 53 fabricated revolver rifles, 14 AK-47 rifles, 1 English pistol, 21 locally fabricated pistols, 1 G3 rifle, and 8 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles. Others are 9 Aris bolt pistols, 2 locally fabricated SMG, 28 AK-47, and 3 locally fabricated magazines, 1 RPG-7 tube, 4 RPG-7 rockets with charges, 1,522 rounds of ammunition, and 500 rounds of 9mm ammunition, among others, he said. Abubakar, who thanked residents of the state for their support and cooperation in achieving the feat, promised that troops of the operation would continue to be just and fair to all. We will sustain the tempo in order to decisively curtail activities of criminal elements in our joint area of operation. We will remain professional, decisive, and responsive in discharge of our constitutional mandate, he said. Receiving the illegal weapons, Major General Amza Baturi, the North Central Coordinator of the Center, commended the effort of the OPSH in tackling insecurity in the states. Pakistan officials have said the death toll in a suicide bombing at a political rally held by a religious party has risen to 45 on Monday. The attack compounds fears of unrest ahead of a general election due later in the year. The bomber attacked the gathering of the conservative Jamiat Ulama Islam Faisal party, which is allied with the government and known for its links to headline Islamists, in the Banjul district on Sunday in the northwest near the border with Afghanistan. However, no group has claimed responsibility. An official at the state-run rescue agency, Bilal Faizi, said the death toll had risen to 45. Of more than 130 wounded people, 61 were under treatment, government health advisor Riaz Anwar said. A police counter-terrorism wing investigating the blast suspected the Islamic State group was behind it, police said in a statement. Pakistan has seen a resurgence of attacks by Islamist militants since last year, when a ceasefire between the Pakistani Taliban, the Tehrik al-Taliban, Pakistan TTP, and the government broke down. A mosque bombing in Peshawar city in the northwest killed more than 100 people in January, but attacks on political parties are rare. While the TTP and associated groups have been behind most of the attacks in recent months, the group distanced itself from Sunday's attack, with a spokesman condemning it. The JUAF is an ally of the coalition government of Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, who denounced the blast as an attack on the democratic process. Prospects for the general election, due by November, have already been clouded by months of rivalry between main parties and accusations of military involvement in civilian politics. The military denies that. Moving on to the final story, which is the sports. Nigeria will play in the round of 16 at the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. The Super Falcons played out a 0-0 draw with the Republic of Ireland on Monday to confirm their place in the round of 16. The closest round the Rwandom ladies came to grabbing a goal was when Uche Nakano's header was pushed onto the bar by Irish goalkeeper Courtney Brosnan. Nigeria finishes runners-up in group with 5 points after winning one game and drawing 2. Australia claimed the top spot thanks to their 4-0 thrashing of Canada. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's World News from BGI TV Current. Before we go, some major headlines. Tinubu decorates new service chiefs with high ranks at presidential villa. Tinubu finally moved to Aso Rock to ease traffic concerns. Nigeria's debt service ratio rose to 100% in 2022. DMO. Ministry release Senate begins confirmation hearing of Wiki orders. And on foreign, Pakistan suicide bombing toll rises to 45. On sport, Super Falcons qualify for the round of 16 after playing a 0-0 draw with Republic of Ireland. For more update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Dagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advertisements of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening. God bless Nigeria.